folks, just out for a nice walk in the nice weather. I tell you, it's very warm, so it is. I kind of regret bringing my jumper, so I did. Unlike my last vlog towards Cork, where I regret not bringing a jacket with me, but I regret bringing my jumper. So it's a lovely day, nice warm, silly to complain, so it is. So I just want you all to sit down, relax, and hope you all enjoyed the video. I tell you the truth, it's not very often you see me outside the town or a city or even a nightclub. So, because normally I do my vlogs or even photography work in bars and nightclubs and even street photography and all that. So it's a different scenery for a change, so it is. And it's not often I do that, so it's not. Right, so I'm off towards Heywood Gardens, so yeah. Weather here is fantastic, and Heywood Gardens, trust me, looks really nice when the sun is out, so it does. So hopefully when I get up there, the turtle fountains, or whatever you call them, will be spraying with water to make it look nicer. If not, well, that's a pity. So I'm using this bridge here as a shortcut. It's not the safest bridge because there's no railings or something like that if you ever lose your balance, but it's a nice little shortcut. But again, be careful when you're going over it. Now, I'll tell you the truth, the water looks really nice when the sun is out, so it does. And right up ahead is Heywood Gardens, so not too much further to walk. And yeah, that bridge is a little bit dangerous when you're walking over, because you lose your balance, you have nothing to save you. there's a couple of stuff on that bridge you need to mind your step, because one false step and you'd be gone swimming, so you would be. So if you're a good swimmer and you're able to get out, that's brilliant, that's fantastic. But if you're a bad swimmer who's not able to swim like me or something like that, well, you're Even though I prefer walking around like the towns and cities and do a bit dilly-dally here and there, but it's a nice change, it's a nice change of scenery, and I don't do that too often, so I don't. So right at that corner is Heywood Gardens, so again, not too far to go, but there is a big large steps I'll show you in a moment, but I won't be taking that direction because they're pretty steep. Well, that's a bit of an oddball, so it is. Most of the path here is dry, but for some reason this section here is pretty mucky and wet. I know we had rain in recent days, but surely now this area would be dry or something like that. If there's one thing I do regret bringing with me, is actually my camera itself, my DSLR or my mirrorless camera, because there's actually nice reflections here on the water. You might not be able to see it from there, but you see along the stairs or one of the bridges I passed by earlier on. Nice reflections going around here, so yeah, I'm kind of raging I didn't bring my cameras with me. Not going to lie, the structure here overlooking down where I am looks pretty cool, so it does. Looks really nice, I have to say. So I'm right at the signs there, so if you go left, that's the direction I came from, is Cloth Seat. So I think that's what the old stonework structure was I passed by earlier on. And the gardens is pointed towards south where I'm positioned, and then if you continue on to the right, it leads to the car park, but it also takes you to the gardens too, but it'll be longer. So the direction behind me is shorter but a lot steeper. So there's the stairways towards the gardens, which is the shorter direction, like I said, but I don't know, it's one of those areas I don't recommend going on my own, because if I lose my balance, I'm f***ed. I'll be tumbling back down this direction or possibly towards my death. So going up these stairs is a no-go. I know I'm like a broken record, but my god, the scenery here is really nice when the sun is out. But when it starts pissing rain or something like that, it can be a bit grim or something like that, and it's look really depressing. But when the sun's out, credit where credit is due. Right, so like I said, you can still go to the gardens this direction, passing by the bathing house, and it is a bit longer but not as steep and a lot more manageable. But there's a steep hill onto my right, but like I said, it's a bit more manageable. So when you reach the top, you might be a little bit tired, but again, it's still a lot more manageable. Right, this pathway here seems to be on a little bit of a steep side, so it does. But I'll show you now which way these two paths lead to once I get to the top. So this side here leads towards Cloth Seat and towards the village of Ballinakill. Also, if you don't cross over that bridge, this is the part of the path you'll end up right here. And if you're going to the other side, which is the direction I'm going towards, is the car park direction. As you see, it's a three-way split path towards the end. So if you go straight on, it leads towards the car park and the main road, and if you do a U-turn on the right hand side, it leads you back up towards the gardens, passing the secondary school. This seems to be a new pathway, so it does. Might walk up that path to see what that leads to at some point. Right, some of you might be familiar with the structure around here, because last year I was right at this part here and towards Heywood Gardens, but the problem at that video I did last year when I was doing editing, I was using a different video editing software and it choked at the end, so it did, unfortunately. Right, so I'm at where the path splits three ways. So behind me leads towards Cloth Seat and to the village. To the left leads towards the entrance gate and car park, and to the right leads towards the garden and Sham Castle and Orangery. And also, when you look at this direction here, I'll zoom up there for you, there's a shrine there in the distance. So there is, the reason I'm saying distance, even though I'm closer in person than I am in the camera because I'm using a wide angle lens, so I am. So that structure there I'm passing is the Abbeyleix. So if I mispronounce that name, correct me in the comment section. Right, so I'm getting out of the shade and head back into the open where the sun is shining. So sunglasses, go back on. Right, so I'm walking up this hill towards Sham Castle. So I am, and it looks pretty steep, but it's not as steep as you think it is. So it's not. It might draw a better two out of you, but you'll get there fine, so you would. Right in front of me is Sham Castle, so it is, and in the distance is Heywood Community School. This spot right here would be ideal for doing photo shoot or even wedding photos if you're taking wedding photos after the ceremony before the reception. I walked this path here numbers of times, so I did, and it may look steep, but trust me, walking up that hill is actually easy, so it is. Right in front of me is Sham Castle, from left to right, overlooking the river, so it is. So that'd be ideal now if the trees were chopped off. I would have made a nice framing shot of the water, so I would. Correction, onto my right is Gothic ruins, and this structure right in front of me is the orangery. Now, I'm not the type of person who reads out the details about these structures or the history behind them, because I don't want to spoil it on you, so I rather walk up to these places and discover yourselves. Right, so I'm spoiled for choice, left or right. I'm going to take left because it's a lot more flatter and easier to walk on. So the next few footages, the camera will be facing me because I don't be recording the students, so I don't. Luckily where I'm walking there's no students about, so there's not. So that's a good thing because I don't want to be recording students and breaching the data protection and all that. So we're now nearing 4 o'clock because the buses are starting to pull up here now to pick up the students. I see there's a white one behind me, and then onto the other side of me there's a big coach as well waiting for the students. Fun fact, I did photography during the TY ball, short for transition year ball, which is kind of like a Debs for younger students. So it is. It's kind of similar to the Debs too, so it is. Now for anyone who's in the States or England who's not sure what Debs is, it's basically our version of a prom. Right, so I'm about to have a nosy about in this little maze, so hope I don't get lost. I nearly got lost there, so I did. Took me forever to find the exit. Right, so I'm walking through pleached walks, I am, so again this is a nice spot if I'm doing photo shoots or something like that with a person, because the scenery suits the occasion, so it does. Now I'm walking this side of the area because if I walk the other direction there are 2 students in front of me, and again I don't want to be recording, invading their privacy and all that. So that part there is Heywood House, so it is. Doesn't look much like a house now anymore, so it doesn't. Like, imagine how big it was during this time. Right, so unfortunately that had to be a quick walk around Heywood Gardens because the area is starting to fill up with students and all that, and kids are starting to come in too. So I don't want to be recording that, invading their privacy, etc., despite being in a public place, but well, it is what it is. So those stairs I just showed you earlier on was down below, so that's where the stairs lead to. They lead to right here, which again is a lot shorter but a bit dangerous if anything. Right, so luckily these stairs here are not too bad because they're a little bit narrow in the gap and wide too, so, and also you have walls there to catch you if you fall, so I don't have to worry about these ones. Like I said, normally I go up the other direction back through the maze, but there's so many students piling up around there, so I don't be recording them, invading their privacy. Right, I'm going to try and show off one more part here if I can. If there is students there in the frame, unfortunately I'm going to have to get that part to miss, but if it's clear enough I'll record it. Right, so the last part of the video I want to show you is just here on the right hand side. If there's people in the frame, unfortunately I'm not going to record because again, I want to respect their privacy, but it's empty enough, I'll show you. But regardless, I'm going to conclude the video in this spot right here. Right, so this is the fountain here. The reason why I brought you to this part of the fountain because I love the way the circle kind of frames the scene, so it does. And every now and then I always pop my camera here to take the shot to frame it. So yeah, it looks actually nice like that, so it does. Right, so that concludes the video. So I want to thank you all for watching. Drop a like and a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one. Only God knows where my next vlog will be.